is adding and subtracting fractions. So under fractions, you are adding and subtracting. Now, what's different about adding and subtracting on this little part that you have done, but they haven't called it that, is these fractions will have unlike denominators. Unlike denominators. And here is just going to be a for example. If I have 5/6 minus 1/2. Okay? I'm going to give you the steps so that we all just have everything all down here. Step number 1 is always the same with fractions. You already can tell me this. It is to write them up and down. You will do such a thing. So step number 1 looks just like this. 5/6 minus 1/2. And please understand, ladies and gentlemen, just with like numbers, with fractions, when it's subtraction, the order counts. The first fraction given has to go on top. Second fraction that you're subtracting has to go on the bottom. With adding, it doesn't matter. You can flip those over because of the commutative property, whatever you want to call that. But just know first fraction and subtraction have to go on top. Step number 2. This is probably the toughest part of all. Step number 2 is you must do what we call make common denominators. Okay. The only way you can add fractions together is if they both have the same bottom number. Please don't ever think that you can just look at this and go, oh, my answer is 6/8 because 5 plus 1 is 6 and 6/2 is 8. That is not the way fractions work. Okay? When you're talking about the pizza pies and adding them together, they have to have the same bottom number. Now, you've been doing this, but the book has told you exactly step by step how to do it. How do I know what number to make my bottom? And it's a real simple little thing because you've done this as well. Okay? You are going to find the least common multiple of the bottoms. Okay, remember when the book said take 5/6 and change it so that it has a denominator of this, and then take 1/2, change it so that it has a denominator of this, and then subtract them? Well, that's what we're doing here. So you come over here, you make an equal sign, because I need to make some equal fractions and change these bottoms so they're the same bottom so I can work with the fraction. So if you look at 6 and 2, just look at the bottom numbers. What is the least common multiple of 6 and 2? The smallest number that both 6 and 2 go into. I'm not looking for the greatest common factor. Don't tell me the answer is 2 because you can't take 6 into 2. You're looking for the multiples, which means this. Multiples of 6, multiples of 2. Multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, multiples are 2, 4, 6. What's the smallest multiple they share, Kelly?
6.
6. And that's what number is going to be here. And then how do I make equal fractions? And I need to see this on your homework. Just bear with me on this. You need to do this. How do I go from 2 to 6? I multiply by 3, which means I have to multiply the top by 3. How do I go from 6 to 6? Multiply by 1, multiply the top by 1. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have completed step 2. I have made common denominators. God bless you. That is by far the toughest part. Step number 3, guess what it is? You add or subtract the top numbers, which are we call the numerator, and you keep the bottom number the same. Bottom the same. So this I subtract 3 from 5, I get 2. Bottom number stays the same. 3/6 subtracted from 5/6 is 2/6. And then somebody already said it there. Reduce, but in the fractional world, to cover everything, we actually call it, we're going to call this simplify, which means reduce, or it could also mean change from an improper fraction to a mixed number, whatever it is. In this case, it is reducing. You divide them both by 2 or cut them both in half, and my answer is 1/3. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the work that I need to see for adding and subtracting fractions. You should be very excited about that.
Yay.
Let's try another one. What if I gave you 1/5 plus 3/10? 1/5 plus 3/10. Already did step number 1, wrote them up and down. Hardest part about this is finding the common denominator or the least common multiple. If you have 5 and 10, please don't get that mixed up with factors. It's not the greatest common factor, it's the least common multiple. What is the smallest thing that both 5 and 10 will go into? Eddie? A 10. So I'm going to change this so that both of them have bottoms of 10. Whoa. This one you don't have to change, it's already the same, so it can stay 3 on top. 5 times 2 is 10, so 1 times 2 is 2. What is 2/10 plus 3/10? 5/10. And if I simplify that, that is 1/2. Maybe now you can see why this should not take 3 lessons for you to be able to comprehend. Here, let me give you one for you to do. How about 7/10 minus 1/2? 7/10 minus 1/2. They don't take that long. Let me kind of get it there. 7/10 minus 1/2. Again, when I collect the homework papers, I will be looking for you showing all this work, so please make sure. When the proverbial smoke clears, you end up with, Colton?
1/5?
1/5? I don't know, let's see. Your common denominator was 10, right?
Yep.
This times 5, top times 5 gives you 5. This times 1, this times 1. 5 from 7 is 2/10. Simplify and cut them both in half. 1/5. That's just good. That's just good.